Hey there, everybody. I'm going to just nap for a couple minutes here and start to go through this bucket of small heat-treated coral cobbles. They're all going to be a lot nicer than they look like on the outside. You can see that one's a little bit of a indication there. Wearing my neck scarf thing, whatever you call them, I forget. My hat. Anyways, I'm wearing that because I've got some killer gnats out here right now that have been biting the heck out of me. For some reason, I guess I'm allergic to them or something, because I'll get a big swollen bump on me. It's worse than a mosquito, and it'll last for 3 or 4 days. It's kind of crazy from a dang gnat. So they're my arch nemesis at the moment. Went ahead and got some new tools from flintnapping.com. It was last week. Just started to break them in a little bit. You can definitely see the difference. A new one versus a used one. You see how they dome out like that after you use them for a while. And I know you can pound this back down with a hammer, and if you do that, I think meticulously, like every other time you nap, it probably stays in pretty good shape, but I don't do that. And I kind of start liking it more when it domes out a little bit. But then eventually when it starts to, it's almost exposing the lead there on the end, which is no good. And so I figured I'd go ahead and buy a few more. Maybe I won't leave these out in the weather. You can get an idea of what's hiding inside some of these. Again, they look really really ugly. These have a thicker white limestone cortex on there. But man, just under there, look at that. That is just amazing. Okay, this is going to go to an expert napper. We're going to see what he can do with this one. So it's fall. I've got leaves falling everywhere. I'm out here every day picking up leaves, throwing them out of my little rock pile. But it's not gonna. It's gonna be kind of a losing battle. So a lot of times with these smaller cobbles, I use indirect to get into them because you can blow them in half pretty easy. Again, this was a fire popped piece, but I think we can get under that fire popped crap right there. There's really good colors in it. So this is one. We'll see. Already see a little fracture on the end. I'll go ahead and take a down that ridge. Oh yeah, that's pretty inside. Kind of orange and blue and all that. Still looks good here. So again, this side's good. We just want to work this side off until it's actually something that we can use. So I'm not going to talk as much. I'm just going to work through. I've got a bunch of preforms in here I've been knocking apart. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll see what happens with some of these. I'm not going to work them all apart. I'm actually going to just kind of whack into them and see what color we're dealing with, and then I'll move on to the next. And that's still, ooh, even though that's overcooked, that still looks good right there. It's not going to be that red, it's going to be that orange. But a couple more off of this side before I move on to the next rock. Definitely good colors on this one. So pretty crusty and pot lidding up in there, meaning looking cracked from the fire. Get a little cortex off the corner here so I can actually hit into it. Wow. So one thing, overcooked a little bit, it popped, or it might have had moisture in it or something like that, but dang is it glassy. Well, you can see through. So I'm going to try to take some of this ugly off again with a different here. Yep, and we got into good stuff right there. Nice and smooth versus that rough. Gonna work this whole one down right now. Definitely has some good potential, but again, it's already so thin this would be something, if you want to really save everything you can, come back to this with a indirect stick, or just go down to that real small bopper and take your time, because there's not a lot of forgiveness with this thickness. Have arrived again, flying around. All right, so that's some pretty good colors in this one. We'll move on to that next one. I don't think I'm gonna completely biface this. These are biface. I'll throw these on the other side. We'll just call this a color check. It's pretty ugly here. I think I'm gonna go with something a little heavier on this. The right angle to get into it. Right there probably is gonna. Oh, that sounded good. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's gonna be another orange, a little white right here at the end of the cortex. Some blues in there. I was actually expecting. Oh yeah, some nice blues in there. Let's take one off this side too. It's looking better and better as you get in there. Sometimes they look worse as you get into the middle. Not on this piece. There's really a natural platform already kind of set up here for me, so I'm just going to grind this edge. You can tell this thing broke apart either by man or by nature. I don't see a lot of flake marks on it, but it's could have just been a hunk knocked off and then it remineralized. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, take something off of this hunk here. Wow, it's really rich and glassy there. So it almost seems better to this side than to this side, and that could be, again, this is an old spall. This is more into the head. This is out on the surface the whole time, so that's a really good looking piece right there. Just take your time with it. I don't see any cracks going through that whole thing. Could probably take another one right here right now and just go over. Nice and there. I was like, it was nice and solid. It just didn't detach. All right, that's good. It took that weird irregular hump off, and we're still in nice slick material. Kind of a flat edge here. There we go. Getting some really nice colors all throughout there though. And then we just kind of got this fat hump. We've already got this side pretty thin. Just need to work this edge down a little and then knock that hunk off. Anytime I have something this good a color, I really have a hard time bopping it apart, because I could take this down to my saw and saw it up, and I'm sure I could get probably 2 or 3 points out of it. It was kind of thick. Now that I'm looking at it, it was pretty solid. So yeah, I mean, it depends what kind of the art you want to practice, what part of it you want to practice. I'm kind of on percussion more right now, so I like it. But I do like using every bit of material I can get. Out of the rock. Right. That nasty hump off there. Looks like there there's a little crack under the surface there, but I think that's going to come off too. I think I can do it here. I'll just take one more here and try to knock all that crap off. Kind of worked. It was kind of too low, that platform, but yeah, I got a little of it off, and that set me up for a hit on this side. This ugly little sucker in the shape here, and now this is going to come off of here. Boom. All right, this thing, we got some goodies in there. On to the next. Now this is not coral. This is bay bottom chert or ledge flint. It's good stuff. It's good raw. It's crazy heated, and by crazy I mean pretty fragile. So moving down to little bopper there. Kind of see it clear with an orange window right there. I'm going to work it down a little bit more, but it's so irregular, so many little weird cracks and all this. A lot of people would probably maybe leave this behind, but little do they know it's an amazing rock in there. Depending on if you can go slow enough to get into the rock, get the cortex off, get something cool out of it. Good stuff in here. Again, a couple more wax and I can really show you. Kind of flat at the back here. I'm trying to take this ridge off. I think I'm trying to take it off with the wrong tool. I don't want to bust this. I need more of a platform. It's just too flat. So I go back to my little guy for a minute. Still broken half. That's this material. It is a pain in the butt. Still make something cool out of this side. Maybe out of this side. I don't know. I'll knock this one down a little bit. You can definitely see what it looks like inside. The problem with it is, I don't know if you can see, but that was probably, again, just from hitting it. But there's little holes all through this material, even if it's glassy. You'll get weird little inclusions. That's the right word for it. Come on. Take a bopper for this one. Get some of the cortex off of the base. Don't be afraid to switch around tools while you're working on stuff. Looking better. Get another hit on this little crevice here. That was nice and solid and actually wrapped around the other side. So you can start to see what we're dealing with in here. Again, we're salvaging that little mistake I made. Boo-boo. Can definitely make something cool out of this. Take a couple more hits on this one and I'll move over to that bigger chunk that came off. That platform and not just a sharp edge here. Ooh, stay away from me, gnats. Alright, here we go. All the way across. Got up under there. It's looking good. Buff this little corner. I'm going to take one going back a little more. Hit that one that way. I'm going to hit this one this way just to clear some more of that cortex. I hit right where I wanted to. You can see how that just came right off of there. Nice sharp flake. All right, so that's good material. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, nice. Drop it. Break it. A little pile here. All right, let's see if we can knock this one apart without breaking it anymore. It's got some weird, I mean, right here is really weird looking cortex. The rest of it looks pretty thick. That's what we want. There we go, got into some of it there. Really pretty orange patterns. Yeah, I need some swing speed on this because again I'm using a little bobber. Alright, that was nice. Got a bucket for some of my prettier flake circulators. Try to remember the bucket if I can. Alright. Guess I'm gonna go ahead and take one off the other side because there's a bunch of cortex right there and a little hump. Not sure how easy it's gonna be. It's kind of what I need to do to switch the platform back to the other side. So let me kind of, I don't know if this is doing anything, but I'm gonna get in there and grind it a little bit. And I'm gonna hit this that way. This way. Okay, I hit. Just barely got under that cortex. I don't think it was enough. Under full on gnat attack right now. What did I do to try to record out here? You'd think some of these bugs would have gone away. And a short one in there. That's not bad. I'm gonna flip this, go back off this side. By flip it, I mean do like a downward motion to get a steeper platform. So this comes off and now the platform's to this side. So I can flip it over and hit this way. I had the longest time, people kept saying platform. I was like, what the heck is a platform? I felt like an idiot. Platform's just making a spot to hit. And the more you do it, the more you can actually tell, like, hey, once I do this and I hit it here, it's gonna take a flake off right here. It's weird to know when you can hit a certain spot, take a flake off in a certain spot, but it's, I guess that's flint napping. Oh, that was ugly stack right there. Probably could have been saved by using a bigger bopper. But I gotta remember, stop trying to go into the piece. What I'm doing right now. I'll get this off from the other side. There we go. Told you. All right. That was really ticking me off, so okay, instantly got that off. This is looking pretty good. You guys can tell there's some good stuff in here. It's solid. I think we know what's here, so we'll go ahead and move on to that next piece. Excuse me. Well, this thing's pretty ugly. There's already a window in it that looks red though. You can see. Oh, I think the base was attached. This was the base. To be honest, I can't tell. I think this is the base. It's just growing like this. But pretty ugly. Man, this stuff is really tearing out these new boppers too for being brand spanking new. Go slow and move this one for a minute. Oh yeah, it looks good. Looks like it could probably use a little more heat because it's still got these little micro fractures in it. Doesn't mean that we can't do a little bit with it. It's not going to break as easy as the rest of the stuff. That's for sure. It's like half heat. Like a little crack under the skin there, but hopefully that goes away as we get deeper into it. red in there. Definitely throw a little more heat on it though. And again, this will look more like this probably. See the difference, that glossy difference. That almost looks like a cabochon right there. Well, we know what color this is, and I know it needs more heat, so I'll just set it there for now. Move on to this little ugly sucker. This looks like a piece of pinhead. A lot of cortex on it. Hole in this side, and it's pretty fat. So I don't know. Looks like little cracks in it here, but sometimes, again, that's just on the cortex. So it's worth heating up and taking a look for yourself. Oh, wow. When you see that, I got blue, orange, dark red. That's about as slick as it gets. So again, that's why you keep little pieces, because they are highly agatized. They're usually the colors you're going after. Let's see if I can get a hump. Oh, it's so pretty. Hump off this other side here. A lot of cortex. Solid glossy orange in there. There's the cabochon. There's so many bugs out here. All right, we're gonna take a whack off this side and try to get some of this off. Got it. Man, that's blue and all kinds of stuff right under there. I'm sure the middle is gonna look like that orange. So I'm gonna try to work up to this side so it actually looks good. There's a natural platform right here. It's cortex, but it's still hittable. There we go. And I overshot that one, but it's actually not the worst case scenario because we kind of needed that off anyways. Look at what's left there. Blue, orange. Take this off here. Maybe we can get that hole off and just remove the back. So that was very nice. And this thing's ready to go in the tub. So I'll do one more right here. There we go. And that's the problem with cortex, is that you got to go hard to get the impact to go through the shock absorption of the cortex and into the material, but then you go a little too hard and boom, you might go further down. That's a really pretty piece. So, I don't know how long this has been, but we've already gotten through some really gemmy stuff. Haven't even gotten into this bucket yet. Again, funky shape, nice, square, ugly. Who would pick this up? Well, I would, because I know it's hiding inside. So what do you think is the easiest way to get in this? I know this is broken and re-mineralized, so that's going to be a really sweet stuff right there. So if we could get the rest of this off and just this skin off, it's probably going to be the best. Just been joined by a woodpecker. Boom. Okay, I just tried to do an end to end. I'm going to thin that down a little bit. It did pretty good. Didn't get everything off, but it's glassy in there for sure. Almost treating this like a square slab. I'd like to get the rest of this off and kind of zigzag that or get it a little thinner and then go for a final shot. But this is, I mean, what a weird shape. And I'm not good at dissecting squares. Ow. We're getting there. It's getting a little less desirable in the center. I can see that white druzy crystal look. It's okay. We got one here. Go ahead and take this one off and then that one off. Okay, we're getting thinner. See a weird little crack right here, but I think that's just where this side meets this side. Probably go ahead and still take one from the front here. Okay, thinning that down. There's a platform right here to take that chunk off. I'm not real sure how strong that is. Didn't hit exactly where I wanted to on that, so it's okay. Still going towards our target, right? Right there's what I'm going for, though. Got it that time. We're getting there. We're probably half as thin now, which means we're going to get back into better material because we're going back towards this outside edge, which is going to be phenomenal. Always telling that smooth old break gets remineralized, that you got great stuff under it. So some white right under there. Still dealing with square, but I mean, we got a bit of an angle, so if we just keep working this, which is difficult with the Cortex. Get there. I think we're down to the point now where I can go ahead and definitely see this is lower, natural platform. Wow, that blood red glass there. Okay, so I'll leave this for a little bit later, but took that big ugly sucker and made it into something. I mean, this could definitely be a Noonan, a Hardy, whole bunch of stuff. All right, I think I'm gonna bust into this one before I go, and then I'll make another. I'll restart it and do some more of these. I got some other stuff errands I've got to go run. Well, this wasn't the one to start in. This is really ugly, but it's still tough. Get in there. All right, that looks a little better. The Rubik's Cube of Life. Little internal fractures, and this is not the best piece of coral. Okay, that's just how it is sometimes. Well, I'm seeing it. Okay. Probably where I'm going to leave this one. It's in the I could be a lot of things range, but it's ugly. It's little. I know what it is now. Not holding up to the rest of these guys. This is fire popped. I'm going to go at this with an indirect stick later and just see. You can just see it all crumbling apart. There might be something left in here that's usable though. Once you get through some of that crap, it might just, again, it's like a million fractures in here. It might all just fall apart. Worth checking out though. You can just see it. Fractures all through here. And that was just cooked too hot. So stuff doesn't usually get too hot, but when you're cooking a bunch of different material, see how red and glassy it is, man, it's amazing. But it popped. There was some moisture in there or something. And doesn't look too bad under there. That doesn't look so bad. So again, if you can get under it, you might be able to get something out of it. Mess with that later. This is going to be something good. You can just see polyps all through here, all through here. Pretty much polyps everywhere. Like, let me take one right off the back and break it in half. I'll try this. Oh, it's glassy as heck, yeah. You can see that, but it's super duper duper glassy. Take one more here. It's a natural platform off this ridge here. Okay, overshot, whole thing, so glassy. Holy crap. No, it's good. Good to go. Don't need to do anything else to that right now. It's just going to be an orange, glassy, amazing piece. Don't see any cracks in it, but could be. Oh man, here's a little piece of pinhead that's nice and curved. I don't even see it. It looks like a banana. But if we can work the curve out of it, I'll bet you anything this thing has got something awesome hiding inside. Work. No. Can we work the curve out of the banana? No, we can bust the end off of it. So now we have a little shorter piece here. Should be much easier to do something with. Man, beautiful glassy material. Feels like it's overheated. Definitely some little micro cracks in here. I see a crack here, crack here, crack here. But again, this might be just surface deep. Good colors coming out. Man, there's just so many cracks though. This is probably garbage. And they're freeze cracks is what it is. You can kind of see cracks, crack, 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 crack. But guess what? You can still make cabochons out of stuff like that. Wow, making a bunch of rubble today. Alright, I think we'll call it a day. Here's one more. Looks like it, I didn't preform this. That might have been an old preform from natives or something like that. Looks like there's a flake here and a flake there. Well, it broke naturally and just did it that way, but we'll see. See the color in there, blue, orange, glassy. I don't know if you can see that difference. So classy, so glassy. This looks like it's just ready to be another preform. Or not, that could have been really easy. Man, that cortex is thick right there, I guess. Blow one up this way. Alright. Got a little crack right here in the corner that goes back to this side. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'm just gonna hope. Oh, and that hope worked. Look at that. Got a beautiful, this looks like it's just going to be blue with a little hint of orange in it. Nice. Take this hump off, grind this, and just knock that off next. And got yourself a freeform here. That was pretty darn easy. That cortex comes all the way up into here. I can see it in the mud. So this will get a little thinner just because there's no actual rock right here. But pretty cool, pretty sweet. All right, that's enough for this video. Hope everybody enjoyed. Just some rock top, a little smacking, a little whacking, getting the blood flowing. I'll be back